Happy Monday, everyone. How are you guys doing? Somebody today told me the words, the early bird gets the worm. And it's true, right? Everyone thinks the early bird gets the worm. So does that mean that what? That everyone has to literally get up out of their chairs or their beds at nighttime and run to start getting worms? Here's a question. Actually, that was a question. That was the only question I had. The answer is, from a Hasidic perspective, no. How could it be? Think about it this way. What is the purpose of getting that worm? Is it just so you can have another worm to feed your kids? That sounds gross. Whatever, just putting things into perspective. Use your imagination and your brain for a second. No one's feeding worms to their kids, especially not Hasidic Jews. I cannot tell you about other people, but that's not how we do it where I come from. But really, what is the purpose of getting up early and going to get that worm? No. A Hasidic bird, or a Jewish bird, who has Hasidic teachings, running through his bird organs, and bird brain. That doesn't sound positive. I don't know if this is going in the right direction, but we're going to continue anyways because we're on a tight schedule. Gets up in the morning. First thing they do is they say, Maida Ani. We recognize that Hashem runs the world. Then we go to shul. Okay? But not right afterwards. We dress up. We get dressed first, whatever. Then we go to the synagogue and we prepare ourselves. How? We go to the mikveh. The mikveh is like a ritual bath. It's kind of like a humbling experience on a daily basis. Then we learn Hasidus. Hasidus is literally what brings us life and the ability to overcome the challenges of what's out there on the outside. And it puts things into perspective. Like then you daven. And then after the davening part, when you go and you face the world, you're not just going, the early bird is not just going to get a worm for the sake of getting a worm. He's going to get a worm with the idea in his mind that I'm doing this just because God commanded me to do so. That's it. So, does that mean early bird gets the worm? God decides which bird gets which worm. I think this is not really working out as far as the context goes, but you guys understand what I'm saying. There's no such thing as a worm for a bird that God himself is not literally recreating every moment in order to give this bird what it needs, its sustenance. And the same thing goes by myriads of degrees of separation for us. We have to remember that it's not an early bird. It's I'm going to go out before everyone else. Yes, obviously you got to do what you got to do. But don't cast aside the idea that we're not here just to go and chase after worms, as gross as it sounds. We're here because God put us here. And we're not just here to make $1. We're here in the field where we're working, wherever you're doing, whatever it is you do, the professionals you work with, because there are sparks of holiness over here in your field that God needs you to work with. God needs you to elevate. Happens to be, this is how you bring money down into your family, into your life. This is how you build your business. But it's not because we're looking to build a business that we're doing this. This is our service of God. Believe it or not, you going to work is your service of God. But don't forget about everything else that you have to do beforehand. The mental preparations, the actual prayers that you have to do. The idea of studying something that connects you to God in a higher way than if you would have just, rolled out of bed and gone to, pray by yourself or with a minion or whatever. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Do not eat worms. That would literally be gross. Have a great Monday.